Hey, welcome back to another episode of Legendary Sports Podcast, Take Two. I'm your host, Joe Muggeson, trying to get through some technical stuff, but the question was posed, how am I doing this week by Antoine, and I gave a little breakdown before I had technical woes came in, so we're going to break it down again. I am hoping to go 4-1, maybe 5-0. I got Devontae. I need him to give me 8 points to win in this league that I am now either going to be 4-7 or 3-8. So we'll see how that goes this week. If I'm
It's a
3-8, I'm
standard boy.
done.
It's a standard boy.
If
So
I'm
that
4-7, I'm in.
it's a standard boy. So that 8 points is big.
Yeah, and that should hopefully be Antoine. Anything could happen. You know, we both got two players left, but I do have a 30-point lead or something like that, 35 points. So we'll see.
Oh man. So let's talk about us really quick, man. Like talk about having a day to where you just mess up everything because how about I got Jason Myers on my bench with 17 points and he played in place of Riley Patterson who only gave me 3. So that's 14 points,
Yeah,
right?
kickers are hard though, right? Like
Then
that's
I
tough.
got I got Terry McLaurin in who gave me 9 points, and I got Adam Thielen and DeAndre Hopkins on the bench with 15 points.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then Mark Andrews gets hurt on the first drive. So
Yeah. You
it's
had a rough
tough.
start to your week. I was worried about Joe Mixon, but now I feel a lot better about the situation. Oh, I got one player left. You got two people left. I got one left. So I only got Rashee Rice. You still got AJ Brown and Pacheco. Um, I mean, your guys could put up 30. So I mean, like, AJ Brown could put up 30 pretty easy. So to really close the gap and maybe change the dynamic here. So I need really to have Rashee Rice make sure to maintain the gap.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't help too. I started Jared Goff, and he threw 3 interceptions today. I mean, dude went like he had like one of the longest streaks without throwing an interception,
Yeah.
right? And like he was very good at taking care of the ball. And he threw 3 interceptions against a like decent, okay Bears defense today. And it
Yeah.
just blew my mind. So yeah, you got the lead in that one.
Yeah. We'll
From
see
where I'm
the
standing, man, like I'm just ready to donate the rest of my money to leagues, man, because it's just man,
So
I'm in
are you not looking good in the standard league either?
I'm I
In
mean,
the
we
winning league?
both have I have a 1 point lead and I have AJ Brown to play. Um and he has
You have is my thing maybe my thing didn't refresh.
he has Jake Elliott, the kicker from Kansas City. And
Mm,
I have AJ Brown. And so with that being said, it's rough, man. It's rough. Anything can happen in fantasy, but I'm on a 4 game skid in this one, so hopefully I could pull it out. I'm sitting in the 6th spot right now. I'm playing the 5th place person, so
in the big
that
money
would
league, it
be
looks like you got a 7 point lead.
7 point lead. Oh,
Yeah.
I do have a 7 point lead. That's a little bit. That's a little bit different.
I think you should probably call that one a win because he's only got the kicker left.
Hey man, anything's possible in fantasy. I mean,
Anything
I
is
had
but
in my other fantasy league, it's a 2 QB league, and guess who my quarterbacks are? Two
mm,
quarterbacks that got hurt this week.
Joe Burrow and I forget who else got hurt this week.
Geno Smith.
Oh, I didn't pay attention to that game, so you
So
break that
I mean
down.
I didn't get any QB production, so I'm washed, man.
Yeah, that's rough living. That is.
So, but anyways, man, there's some good stuff that went on around the league, man. Talk to me about it. Talk to me about the games that you watched today. What's one of the ones that stood out to you?
Hold on 1 second, I'm adjusting my mic here. Um, Houston would be one of the player, Tank Dell specifically, I guess. Not fully Houston, but Tank Dell. If we're just talking standout players for the week, he was that dude, man. At 149 yards and a touchdown. Man, that I started him in every league I had him in, and it was worth it. 100% worth it. Cause that he is the apple of CJ Stroud's eye. It is paying off. And I tried to trade him to the person who traded for scraps, and he turned me down.
Wow. Wow.
But hey, I'll take him. It worked out for in my favor that they turned that down. So
Go ahead, recap the whole game, man. There's a lot of good stuff going on in that game.
Hold on one second here. Gotta find my Houston stat sheet. There we go. All right. So not only for the Texans did think they'll have a good game, but so Devin Singletary, who I thought was going to be a 1 week thing, but he came back with 22 on the ground for 112 with a score. CJ Stroud, another 3-pick person today. Crazy. 3 interceptions for Stroud, which has been rare for him too this season. But still got it done. You know, I started him in the league, and I think he got me 17 points in that league, 4-point per passing touchdown. So still enough to get you through the week. Kyler Murray actually came and played well today. If you started him, about 20 between 20 and 24 fantasy points depending on your league structure. So that was kind of nice. He had 51 on the ground, which is crazy. And a touchdown there. So it's cool to see that he's using his legs again. So and then not a ton from the Cardinals side. I mean, there was like some one-offs, like score, like a 48-yard score for Rondale Moore, which you can't rely on that. And Greg Dortch was probably the most reliable for the Cardinal side of thing. He had 6 catches for 76 yards. So, but I don't know what that really means. And I don't know who's going to lead this back or this receiver group at any given time. So that's going to be, we'll have to see how that shakes out with Kyler and kind of like who is his number one, like who becomes his Tank Dell. So
there you go. I thought Trey McBride would step up and have a big day today, but I guess not.
All right, yeah, lead the next one. What we got?
But I mean, if you want to talk about some guys that kind of stood out, man, shout out to your boy, and I'm glad that you didn't start him. I don't even know if you still have him. Did you trade him away, Calvin Ridley? 7 for 103 and 2 touchdowns.
I only have him in a standard league, and I did not start him. I started Debo instead, and that was a fail.
Yeah, Calvin really had himself a day. This is the best day that he's had in weeks. 7 for 103 and 2 touchdowns. The Jacksonville Jaguars looked like a complete team on offense today. It wasn't just a Travis Etienne thing and then let's rely on a defense type thing.
Yeah.
It was Trevor Lawrence, 24 for 32, 262 and 2 TDs. Travis Etienne with 14 rushes and 52 yards. Calvin Ridley led the charge in receiving with 7 for 103, but Christian Kirk had 3 for 48. Evan Ingram had 4 grabs. I mean, Travis Etienne had 3 grabs. He spread it all around, and then their defense played solid. They pretty much bum rushed the Tennessee Titans. Will Levis isn't looking like that guy for big numbers. He manages the game well. I mean, he was 13 for 17, 158 and 2 TDs. So the quality is there, but just not the volume, right? I don't know if they're trying to keep his confidence in the game or what, but
yeah, they're still trying to figure out what he's best at, as far as the QB, right? So
yeah, I mean, D Hop had 4 catches for 59 yards and a TD, and Chris Moore with 1 big catch for 49 yards. I mean, there wasn't a lot there on the offensive side because they didn't throw it much. And they're running the ball. Running is just terrible for this team. They just cannot seem to run the ball. Derrick Henry isn't the old Derrick Henry that we're used to seeing. So now they're just loading the box, and he just can't break off 2 defenders at once. So it's tough sledding, especially to trying to throw that ball with not so great wide receivers.
Yeah, there's nobody else on that team. So you got one guy to rely on, and that's about it. I don't know what they were thought they were gonna build out of that there, but that's rough living. Um, I was kind of surprised for the Jacksonville side of this game. Still with Calvin Ridley, I'm still beating myself up about it. Just kind of holding back onto what we talked about right away at the beginning of this. It's just like, man, I can't get that league right at all. Like that's why I'm 3 and whatever, because I can't get it right.
Right.
I don't know whoever to start. Speaking of not starting anybody, hopefully you didn't start most of the people in this game between the Browns and the Steelers because it was just garbage. Unless you were Jaylen Warren, like he was the man. 9 for 129 and a score 9 for 129. I know most of it came on one big run, but my goodness, for 129. Oh my goodness. His YP yards per carry is ridiculous.
Yeah. That's your guy though. That's
That
your
is.
guy.
Well, I started him this week. I have faith in him over Najee. Najee barely existed, 12 for 35, more attempts, but as useless as ever. Back to the Najee we know and love.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. But there's not a lot to take from this one. Jerome Ford did have 12 attempts, 31 yards, did score, but not a great output from him as far as that piece goes. Receivers in this game, you couldn't really rely on anybody. Njoku was a good PPR tight end, but that's about it. But not a lot of love as far as skill positions in this one. You know, each running back scored on each side, but everything else was in Dudsville. No quarterback even threw for 200 yards in this game.
Yeah. I'll tell you one that was kind of on the kind of teetering back and forth. Um, was the Miami Dolphins and the Las Vegas Raiders. There was a lot of put up here in this game, but there wasn't a lot of like scoring, right? I mean, for Aiden O'Connell, the quarterback for the Raiders, he is 24 for 41, and he had 271 yards. That's a lot, but he also came with 3 interceptions, right? Turning it over. And for the defense of the Las Vegas Raiders to hold the Miami Dolphins just to 20 points, even after having 3 turnovers from their quarterback, that's huge. Tua was 28 for 39, 325, 2 TDs, and 1 interception. I'm not sure if you guys seen, but on the one carry that Devon Achane got, he injured himself again. Looks to be a season-ending injury this time. With it looking like an ACL, they're not sure what exactly what it is, but it's Raheem Mostert, and Raheem Mostert it goes. I'm not sure where Jeff Wilson is. I don't know. I haven't seen a sight of Jeff Wilson all
they
season.
use Slavon Ahmed now. That's who they use.
Yeah, I mean, but he only had 3 carries though. He had 3 carries. He did most of his work catching out the backfield, right? But I mean, if you're looking for a running back, those of you who thought Devon Achane was going to come back and take Mostert's spot, which I was one and I was hoping today because I was playing Mostert. But nope, Mostert, 22 carries for 86 yards. Not a lot to write home about, but if you're in a PPR league, man, that tore you apart.
Yep.
So Mostert with 22 carries. Man, I don't know what it is. I mean, I'm not praying on nobody's downfall, but when I seen Tyreek Hill leave a little early to go to the locker room because I thought he was hurt, I was just like, hopefully he just doesn't come back for the rest of the day. And man,
tell me about
10
him.
for 146 and 1 TD, man.
How is he impacting you this week? Have a therapy session right now. How do you feel?
Man, you know what? I don't want to talk to you about that. Look, you just thought that was so cool of you to just like, and then you snapped me earlier, like, hey man, look, I'm like,
hey, I snapped you about Jaylen Warren, which just let you know what the dizzy is in that backfield over there. Your Najee train stopped as fast as it started.
Man, my fantasy dreams is just like slipping out of my hands, man. It's just like water just slipping out of my hands. But I
No.
mean, Jalen Waddle had four catches for 55 yards. Slavit Ahmed had 3 for 25 in a TD. So they're using him in that Devon Achane role, trying to catch the ball out the
Yep.
backfield now. Not so much Raheem Mostert. On the other side, Devontae Adams is coming, right? I mean, they're still having some quarterback woes. He had 13 targets, but only 7 catches.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but he had 7 catches for 82 in a TD. Um, this quarterback, man, the quarterback play for the Raiders, man, have been. I'd like to see where they go, especially
This
with
is
so many
Devontae's best
rookie
performance
quarterbacks.
in forever, though.
Huh?
This is Devontae's best performance in forever.
He had a decent week last week, kind of like the same thing last week.
He
He
didn't
didn't
have
have a
21
TD
though.
grab, but huh?
He didn't have 21. Did he?
I think like 18 or something like that,
Oh.
17,
No, that's not. That's
somewhere
good
in
though.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's coming alive, man. Just a little bit. Not as much as Tyreek Hill that killed me, but it is what it is, right?
You know who's got a close battle? Just a quick random pause in our league is the last place guy and the third place guy, Jay and Chad. Chad's up by 3, but he's got DeAndre Swift, and then the other guy's got Harrison Butker. So I'm kind of hoping Chad wins because I need that third place to get moved down because he's 7-3. So I need the people to get moved out of the way real quick.
That's in the MSP league.
That's in the MSP league.
I
So what I
need
care
that
about
third
because
place guy to
I'm
lose
doing
too
well.
because I'm right there and I'm looking like I'm gonna lose.
I need you guys to start taking some L's. I need to start ramping up into second place, hopefully in the first place coming up soon. Sorry to detour of the game reviews. Just had to put that out there.
Go ahead, you got
Let's
it.
go to Detroit.
Let's go to Detroit.
Let's go to Detroit. Let's talk about my man Fields first, who came back this week, helped put DJ Moore back on the map. Thank you very much. For people who are worried about the value of their receivers, or at least of DJ Moore. No one else really matters on Chicago. 7 for 96 and a touchdown for DJ Moore. Fields had 169 yards in the air in the score and 100 yards on the ground, which is exactly what you need for fantasy value. 10 points on the ground. That's what it gives you. Another 13 through the air in points. Thank you, Fields. You owe him an apology. He's a good fantasy quarterback. Let's go. He gets it for you.
I have no argument here.
Yeah.
We'll see what he's like next week.
Hey, he did it against a pretty good defense. They didn't win again, but they did against a good defense. They're still tanking for Caleb Williams. On the other side of this, man, Goff, another 3 interception person today. It's like things are coming in threes for whoever threw a pick today. If you threw 1, you threw 3. And Goff was one of those. Still had 2 scores, but man, not his best performance, but his running game can bail them out. Both of them got rushing touchdowns, so they held it down there between Montgomery and Gibbs. Montgomery with the game-sealing one against his old team. Shout out to you. But then Jameson Williams came alive with a touchdown today. That was cool to see. Just 2 catches though, but got a score. Amon-Ra St. Brown doing he's a regular every week. Set it and forget it. Just let him play football. Starter. You don't have to question
it. That's
Elite.
true. That's true. The guy's a gamer.
The
guy's a gamer.
8 for 77 in the score, man. Always finding his way. What a boss.
Well, I would like to say this. I don't think that Justin Fields would have had as much success today if it wasn't for Jared Goff turning the ball over the way he did. Good night. I mean, he just turned that ball
gave them
over
opportunities,
left and
right. And they still couldn't win the game. And maybe they don't believe in Fields. I don't know. Fields maybe is playing pretty well for the most part, but maybe they see something different. So who am I to say? I'm just a guy.
Well, I'll tell you this. You talked about somebody looking for their receiver, putting their receiver on the map. Ones that's been on the map, and just did not have a great on the map day today was CeeDee Lamb, man. He was only 6 for 38 in a TD. That's relatively quiet for
Yeah, that is. Still
CeeDee
finds a
Lamb.
TD.
And I think that I think I told
Crazy.
you, I think I told you they're gonna double cover CeeDee Lamb. It's gonna be all over CeeDee Lamb and let someone else beat you. And Dak didn't even have a great day. It was more so about the defense because this Carolina Panther team is really not that good
Not at
offensively.
all.
So I mean, Dak Prescott threw the ball 38 times. He was 25 for 38 and 189 yards and 2 touchdowns. Now, let them have been single covering CeeDee Lamb or not finding CeeDee Lamb. I think that would have been 25 for 275 and 3 TDs, and CeeDee Lamb would have had way more. But Tony Pollard finally got into the end zone for the first time since week 1. 12 carries for 61 yards. And Dak really just spread the ball. He hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He hit 10 people with the pass. So it was just pretty much just spread all the way around.
10 people with the pass.
CeeDee Lamb had the most grabs with 6 grabs. But Brandon Cooks led the team with 42 yards. So it wasn't a lot to write home about anybody there. I'm sure you guys probably started CeeDee Lamb. Wasn't a big day for him. On the other side, it's just I have so many questions about Carolina. I have so many
Did
questions
they make
about
the right draft pick is the first question.
I don't necessarily know if that's the right question.
I mean, when you compare the start to the start of the careers, it is the right question.
Yeah, but I mean, look at like, is it the offensive line that's not giving him enough time to throw because he's running for his life every play?
I mean,
is it the receivers
Stroud
not
doesn't
getting
have a
enough
great offensive
separation?
line, and he's doing it. And he has just as many no name weapons as Carolina does.
I don't know about that.
Oh yeah, so you think Robert Woods is better than Thielen? You think Nico Collins is better than Thielen?
Yes.
No, you don't.
You think Tank Dell is better than Thielen?
At this point.
You think Noah Brown is better than Thielen?
No. No, I do not.
Okay, so
what I'm saying is like Thielen compared to these other guys, Thielen has been there and done it, right? They have a guy that's reliable, a guy that's been out there, and Thielen showed it, right? Even during the bad play of Bryce, he still made good numbers for most of the season, right? He's a number 2 right receiver. If you were to give Stroud a good solid number 2, not Robert Woods, who I like, but is not solid like that, like he had to find and make some of these guys like better, as rookies or second year players for a lot of these no name guys Stroud did. I think that he could have still done that in Carolina.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to say, but I think his skill set's just a little bit more in tune than Bryce Young's is currently.
I can agree with that, but I don't think that the talent that surrounds Bryce Young is better than the talent that surrounds
but that's my point, is Stroud. It's not worse. So that's it's because
but you got to think about you think about the coach, the talent, the offensive line, the defense. Like,
I think the coaching's better. I do think the coaching's better for Houston. The O line's not drastically better by any means.
They're better though. I think they're better. I think they're better. Okay, we'll have to look and see sacks and stuff like that, but I'll find out. But it really wasn't nothing to write home about. Adam Thielen 8 for 74, and the next closest person had 2 catches, so wasn't much there.
No, you know where there also wasn't much, and I forgot this was a game this week. The Green Bay Packers and the LA Chargers. I forgot they were even playing because both these teams bore me. Like, they have good weapons and good options, but they do absolutely nothing. Like, Keenan Allen had a good week this week for 10 for 116 in a score, but nobody else is useful on the Chargers outside of Keenan Allen. Their first round draft pick Quentin Johnson has done nothing. Like their defense can't keep them in it forever, and Herbert's got barely anybody to really throw to. Austin Eckler hasn't been who you thought he would be, like as a rusher. Like he was okay today, 10 for 64. He's more of a pass catcher though, but he only had 2 for 6 this week. So but he's like the second best receiver on the team. Oh man, it's hard for fantasy points coming from that side, man. And I like Herbert, but it's just not getting it done right now for fantasy wise. Jordan Love finally had some numbers. They 322 and 2 touchdowns, but who knows who he was gonna be throwing to today? Like it's always a random band of misfits for whatever reason. Like I have no idea. He like Romeo Dubs was probably the most useful. It was 5 for 53 in the score, but everybody else who was out there, like you're not starting Reed, you're not starting this guy Wicks. Like who are these points going to? Who's getting these points? TJ Watson did score, but only on 2 catches. You can't rely on that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's really hard to see. And a side note, a real like football status question, like a real life football, not
Yeah.
fantasy. I'm really disappointed in these Chargers, man. I thought that they would be a lot better than what they have
Yeah.
been. Back to fantasy. You're absolutely right, man. There's nothing there. Nothing there. And I tell you one that you thought would be nothing there, but gave us a lot of something, and it came a lot on the defensive side of the ball. Um, there were there were 3. One second. 2, 6. 6 and why am I not seeing it here? 6 turnovers.
Hmm.
6 turnovers by the Giants today. The Giants had 6 turnovers. Tommy DeVito had 3 touchdowns. I was
Yeah,
just talking
no picks. That was crazy.
and no picks. I mean, he kind of balled out today. I mean, this New York Football Giants team looked really good, especially against a Washington Commanders team that were lighting it up on all cylinders. Starting with Sam Howell,
Yeah.
but DeVito was 18 for 26, 246 and 3 TDs. Saquon was able to be efficient on the ground, 5.9 yards a carry with 14 for 83 because they were able to throw the ball for once. Darius Slayton, 4 for 82. Saquon out the backfield, 4 for 57.
Yeah. 2
Um,
touchdowns.
then you got a host of other people just coming out, catching balls all over the place. Sterling Shepard, um, Isaiah Hodges, just guys all over catching footballs for these guys. And
I can't believe how
the
many rookies are
defense played.
starting this year, man. This is crazy. Rookies and second year people, like this is crazy.
Yeah, the defense played lights out. On the other side, Sam Howell just was not the guy today, man. He's kind of had some interception problems today. Um, yeah, you got to ride the roller coaster with him. And like you said earlier, if you threw one, you threw 3. So he threw 3 interceptions today, Sam Howell. 31 for 45, 255 in the air and a TD with 3 interceptions. Brian Robinson, if you got him on your fantasy team, start him and just keep
He's been
starting him.
good.
Like
He's involved in the passing game way more than I thought he would. Like I thought that'd be
yeah,
Antonio Gibson, but he is not
he
existed at
he
all.
he led the team with 7 catches for 58 yards catching. I mean, receiving. And he also had 17 on the ground with 73 yards.
Yeah.
No TDs, but he still
That's
led the
still
team.
points on points on points, baby. Yeah, that's
I'm really
funny.
looking. I'm trying to find Terry McLaurin in all of this, man. Like, I don't like that Sam Howell is not seeking out Terry McLaurin. He's their
He's not
number
locked
one
in.
guy.
No.
He's the best receiver they have, and he's just throwing his ball all over the people that's not
He don't give a
the
what.
guy. I mean, even Jahan Dotson 3 for 23. I mean, he had a touchdown, but I'm looking for Terry McLaurin and Jahan Dotson to take this thing over, and he's throwing it to Jamison Crowder, like Byron Pringle. Like, come on, man, really?
Yeah, I
But
agree. Well, let's kick
there
into
was a
some of the
lot of
rest of the.
fantasy points coming from Saquon Barkley today,
Oh
as
yeah,
well as Brian Robinson. Those are the only two people I'm sure people started. I started Terry McLaurin, just hoping on a prayer that they will get him the ball. And I think it's time that we start seeing that we sit Terry McLaurin in this offense because it is just not good. And,
speaking of not good,
and really quick side
yeah.
note before you jump into really not good. Um, CJ Stroud has 22 sacks on the season, and not to be outdone, Bryce Young has 36.
Bum bum bum.
That means that someone's offensive line is just a little bit better than the other.
Yeah, they must be slightly better. That's not good. Also,
Yeah,
maybe, or that could also be because Bryce Young holds the ball longer than CJ
because
Stroud
his
does.
receivers can't get separation, right?
No,
I doubt he's just out there holding the ball just to be holding it.
he might be. It could be a
Hey,
Sam
he's
Dar. It could
not
be a
Josh
Sam
Allen. I've
Darnold.
seen
You
Josh
don't
Allen
know.
try to
He
make
could
big
be a
throws
Sam
holding the ball.
Darnold. You know, because Sam Darnold used to hold that ball just to hold it. So
No,
you don't
no,
know that.
no, no.
CJ Stroud's got a quick release. That being said, going to the bad, let's talk about the Jets real quick. They went
Dumpster
right
fire.
back down to this some crazy Cinderella story, winning games with these close ones, even though Zach Wilson's not playing great, but the defense is awesome. That did not happen against the Bills. That whole story did not play out. I think Zach Wilson got hurt or something like that partway through the game because Boyle came in and played, and I think both of them got hurt. I can't remember. Anyway, not a good situation for the Jets. Not a good situation for um Garrett Wilson, who I have. Because I don't think anything's coming out of that. And he was hurt this week, so that didn't help. But if I hate to say it like this, if Zach Wilson is out and down, like that's actually worse for everything going on in New York. And I hate to say that, but it is.
You know, I'm just so surprised that there's so much ego in the league, and so much like bravado from these guys that they're not calling guys that sitting at home likes of Cam Newton, Joe Flacco, um, and I'm sure many other guys that could be serviceable and play the quarterback position better than Zach Wilson can, and they just want to go with Zach Wilson, and it's
I
just
think
like,
they actually straight up benched him. It wasn't even injury. They straight up benched him
and
for
it's just like,
Tim
man,
Boyle
I
because
know
it's
there's
so
one at
bad.
home. I know there's a quarterback that's not in the league right now that could play better quarterback
Like
than
Bortles.
right, man.
Bortles and Bortles. Oh man, bring him back. Oh,
Yeah.
but
So
then your Bills on the other side, they did. It was. I say they did well. It was weird. Khalil Shakir did well. James Cook did well. He caught a receiving touchdown and had 73 on the ground. Um, and then was it Tyler Johnson or whatever? Ty Johnson. Um, he caught a touchdown, but otherwise, this was just kind of a weird experience. Because Diggs is like nowhere to be found. I think those complaints that you mentioned on Friday's cast that when his brother is they're making the complaints about the team. I think the coaches wrote him out of the game plan. That's what it feels like. Like you want to talk trash, you want your family to talk trash. Like we'll write you out of the game plan, and that looks like what
and we'll
happened.
still win.
Exactly. Like we don't
I
need
wasn't
you.
happy about I wasn't happy about Gabe Davis not getting any grabs either though, because I have him on
But
my
that is something I can see sometimes because it's just like he's also just a roller coaster. You don't know what you're gonna get out of him week to week.
well on just really quick, a few quarterbacks that's not in the league. I think Carson Wentz just signed a deal, but Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan, Colt McCoy, Joe Flacco, Nick Foles, Trevor Siemian are a few of the guys that I'm sure can come in and play better quarterback than Zach Wilson. On the other side of it, right? Here is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the 49ers. Baker Mayfield, 29 for 45, 246, and a touchdown and an interception. Rashid White, I'm sorry, was not great on the ground.
He's been playing well.
He's been playing really well, but most of his stuff for me has been coming out the backfield. 6 for 28, right? And that's in a PPR league. He tears me up. Because a lot around the league, right? A lot of people are still playing PPR or PPR are not playing, standard. So those receptions out the backfield are killer.
Yeah, they're crazy.
Mike Evans 5 for 43 and a touchdown. Cade Otton 4 for 49. And then there was just no one else. Rashid Rice was 6 catches. Chris Godwin was 6 catches, but not a lot of yardage to come with it. On the other side, right, it feels good to have Debo back. I tell you that much. Debo and Trent Williams.
Does it though? Because he didn't give me any of what I thought I needed.
Yeah, you know why? Because he's there to scare defenses, and then that's why you, my friend, talked me into going out and getting BIU, and I got him in some other leagues, and he lit it up 5 for 156 in a TD.
Yeah.
George Kittle 8 for 89 in a TD.
I did not need that nonsense. That hurt me in that standard league.
Christian McCaffrey 5 for 25 in a TD, and Debo Samuel the lonely one with 3 for 63. Funny thing is 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. The 4 guys that make up that offense with all the big playability and stuff like that are the only 4 who caught passes
in receiving. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, who caught passes from Brock Purdy today. Christian McCaffrey 21 for 78, 21 carries for 78 yards.
Sorry, not to interrupt, but I'm interrupting. A crazy touchdown was just thrown by the Vikings, Josh Dobbs. That was wild. This dude, wow, he's putting it on out here. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah, man. I wonder where my boy is with that. TJ Hawkinson. I wonder if he's hurt. I haven't seen him all game.
Yeah, he's out there. I saw him a little bit ago.
He has no catches right now. I don't know if he still is,
but Dobbs that was crazy. Anyway, keep going. My bad. That was awesome.
Just for the sake of it, guys, we're running out of time. There was really nothing from this Rams and Seahawks game. Nope. There's a lot of injuries. Geno Smith got injured. Cooper Kupp got injured. He only had 1 catch. Puka Nacua 5 for 70. DK Metcalf 5 for 94 in the TD. But that was really it from this game. Thanks for tuning in with us, guys. We'll see you guys next week.
The next one.
Peace.
Peace.